Hi everybody, I'm making this week a video to follow up on last week's Let's Play 2025 introduction video. I had some emails from people asking if they could do what they call slow stitching, which is with the cantha stitches all across the background and a more primitive look. And yes, you can do your blocks in that style. You can do your blocks in crazy quilting style. You can do it in any style you wish. The only, and again, quote unquote rule, is that you play in the colors that are suggested for that month. Okay, and I didn't do it last time, but I'll do it in this video. We'll include the link in the description for both that technique page that I mentioned, where you can get how-tos for embellishing and decorative embroidery stitches. And I will also include the link to my newsletter, because that is the best way, other than subscribing to YouTube videos, that is the best way to find all the details about the upcoming free block of the month next year. Now, I did lots more stitching on this, and I thought I'd share some of the fun things I added, and I'm going to show you one of the embellishment stitches I'm going to add. So to start with, I'll do up closes. I did these little, I put French knots in the center of each of these little flowers, and I added the button here and the button here, and I added it with a bow, and I think that's the sweetest. I love that. And then here's the Sunbonnet Sue and Overall Bill fabric again. The fabric, if you saw in the last video, had dashes for faux quilting in black, so I went over it in the floss, and I just made so much charm. And then I also added the little French knots, as I mentioned I was going to, and that's turned out really sweet. I stitched this down, and I added the ties here for putting those buttons on, and I attached those. And then this is what I'm going to share with you today, is the blanket stitch with the beading across the top. So it's a blanket stitch, just a basic blanket stitch, which actually is one of my favorites. In this case, I'm using 6 strands of floss because I wanted the floss to also show up. I tried it with 2 strands and it just wasn't enough. And I also will suggest that you check before you get started that your needle that you're going to use will go through the bead. So that will also play into how many strands of floss you can use, because if I had a smaller bead, I couldn't get this needle through. Okay, so I've come out where the last stitch ends, and then I load a bead onto my needle and thread, push it all the way down, and then I take my next stitch. Now in this case, I've got 6 layers here, so I'm not able to just do the blanket stitch in one swoop. So what I'm doing instead is I'm going to go straight down and pull it through, and then come up. I wonder why that's happening. And then I'm gonna, open you up again. Come up where I need to come up, which is at the edge. And then pull that through. And as I pull it through, the bead gets left on the bottom like that, and it's going to be like beads all the way across. I'll show that again. So I take a bead and I load it onto my needle and thread. I'm going to do this first, though. For some reason the floss is separating. So I'm going to go in where I want to go in, all the way through, and then I'm going to come up on the edge, making sure that the loop that I've made here is through, that I'm catching that loop. So when I pull it, it makes this stitch line that comes down and loops around where you've come out. So that's what I'm going to do all the way across here. And then this cute little pink and green creation that I made, that I only created as an example of what I hope to do next year with my blocks. I'm hoping to do this collage style. But as I said, you can do whatever style you want. The only rule is to use the colors. And I will give January's colors at the beginning of January. All right. Thanks for watching.